It's the McGill Girls. But really, we have a lot to talk about.
Yes. So what's first?
Okay, so I have some updates on Tamala Horsford.
Oh, you do?
It's not really updates, but like a lot of other podcasts did the same story around the same time.
Okay, that's funny because Kendra, my girlfriend, was listening to it like literally a couple days ago, and she was like, "Oh my God, Uncourt Crime, that's us. Crime Junkies did the same thing this week."
Yeah, I know.
I was
It's
like,
great.
"Oh my God."
And then another podcast I listened to, Morbid.
I've heard of that one.
They did it too. So they had some more information that I didn't include, so I was just going to go through it. Tamala was born in the Caribbean, and she was married for 16 years.
Oh, sad.
The aunt, Madeline, said she saw Tamala outside, and actually, her name is not Jeannie, it's Jean.
Oh.
So I was way off.
Jean?
Sounds
like John.
That's how everybody said it, so I don't know. Yeah, so I was way off, but... So when she first saw Tamala outside, she went to Jean and Jose's room and she heard running water. So she went back downstairs and then she ended up going back up again and they were like dead asleep. And then she said, "You need to call 911, and referred to Tamala as her friend from the island.
Caribbean.
But she said, "Your friend from the island. Something's wrong with your friend from the island." Because she is from the Caribbean. But yeah, it's just like, why would you say that in that? Like, something's wrong and you're saying something's wrong with your friend from the island? Why didn't you just say from the friend?
That's probably how they specified her, because they didn't know her. Yeah. So they probably forgot her name. I would have. But what's the running water?
I don't know, unless he was cleaning up. Because there wasn't like any blood around her. So Jose on the 911 calls says she's not breathing. And then he says, "I don't know if she's breathing."
Sketch.
And then he says he has cameras on the balcony that he will check, but he never gave them to police, and somehow the videos got deleted.
Of course they did.
Right.
Or it wasn't working that night.
Right. Jean says she didn't call 911, that she gave the phone to Jose to call 911, but there's obviously a recording of her on the 911 call first.
Why would you lie about that?
Right. Like that's why like Tamala, their family's attorney, is like trying to get to reopen, because none of their stories are out. Yeah. So Jose says that Tamala's arms are flat down, but when detectives get there, her arm is up, making it seem like she tried to brace her fall. People suspect that they moved it to look that way. And remember the app that shows the door opening? I guess there was also the garage opening and closing as well. Which, why would their garage be opening and closing if everybody was staying the night there?
I mean, people were getting picked up, and I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
I know, but why would they be opening the garage? Unless she went out the garage.
I mean, like, when we go to Megan and Scott's, or Mom's, I feel like we always use the garage. Even though we could easily go out the front door, Mom's like, "Oh, you can open the garage and go out." True.
Friends and family of hers said that she didn't take Xanax, and they found the Xanax in her system. I guess they were doing interviews. Like, the police were doing interviews of Jean, Jose, and Madeline at Jean's house.
Yeah. Not at the police station.
No. And, like, at one point, they're interviewing Madeline, and Jean walks in and, like, interrupts saying she got the cops Dunkin' Donut gift cards and says, "Do you need me, or can I go get ready for this funeral?" Tamala's funeral. So, first of all, she's bribing these police officers. And then she's just like, "Do you need me? Because I need to get ready for this funeral." Like, and why are you doing interviews in someone's house?
Wait, why are they getting ready for like, is this the day of?
No, this was just the day of Tamala's funeral.
Okay, I was going to say, why? What?
Yeah. Jean tried to put a protection order against Tamala's friend Michelle, like a month after Tamala's death, and it got dismissed. I guess one woman from the party left at like 4 a.m. for work, but didn't see anything. They have her death listed at 1:30 a.m., but was also like daylight savings time, so it was really like 2:30 a.m.
Oh, but it had gone back. Mm-hmm. What are the odds of that? Like,
right. And last thing, so you know how Michelle's info, like her information was stolen, and Jose did that?
Oh, yes. Her files, you mean?
Yes.
Not like her identity?
Yes. So after the case was closed, Jose and all of the partygoers sue Michelle for talking badly about them on social media. And so the police asks Michelle to copy her post onto a flash drive and bring it into the station. And so she's like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And the flash drive goes missing.
No.
Yeah.
Everything went missing. That's sketchy as hell.
I know. So that was all the information I gathered, but
Makes it seem even more sketchy.
Yeah, I haven't heard like anything on the actual case being opened. So, but we'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah. Thanks for the update on that.
Yeah. Okay, so there's also news about Ghislaine. That
Maxwell.
doesn't sound right.
Ghislaine, that's how they say it.
Okay, whatever.
Epstein's lady friend.
Maxwell. We're gonna call her Maxwell.
Yeah.
She got arrested in New Hampshire.
She was found.
Yes, and
where was she found at?
New Hampshire.
No, like,
Oh,
like was she hiding in like a hotel?
it was in her house. Let me read this.
Not hiding very well if you're in your own house.
So she was arrested and charged on multiple criminal charges related to Jeffrey's sex trafficking and sexual abuse of young women and girls.
Good.
She was arrested on July 2nd in New Hampshire. I want to say it was a house, but I think I remember reading there was something fishy about the house, and like she like changed her name or something like that. I don't know. Basically, she's getting arrested, and let's see if she
goes to jail,
goes to trial, or if she commits suicide.
Commits suicide
In air quotes.
Yes.
But yeah, big things are happening. And then I got in a fucking dark rabbit hole of Britney Spears and Wayfair and Pizzagate, and like now I'm
Pizzagate. What's Pizzagate?
Oh my gosh, Kelly, I couldn't stop looking this shit up yesterday.
What's Pizzagate?
Okay, so Pizzagate is like basically the same thing, like sex trafficking for like celebrities and all this shit, but like they say it's Pizzagate because like they'll email this person and say I want a cheese pizza, which is a girl, or I want pasta, which is a boy. Yeah, and it's like celebrities like Ellen DeGeneres and shit like that.
No.
Yes. So I got in a huge rabbit hole with that. And then
do you believe all that stuff?
I kind of do. Like, you know how I was saying with Jeffrey, like when people get this power, they like do some weird shit because they can. If Jeffrey's doing it, what makes you think other celebrities aren't doing it?
I mean, I know celebrities are, but like, I don't know. I think that's sickening.
And then the whole Wayfair.
Yeah, I did not know about that. That's disgusting.
So I guess there was like, I'm just going to give a brief description for those who don't know, but I guess there was like these storage locker things that were going for like $15,000 to $20,000
through a third party seller though, not through Wayfair themselves.
And they don't look anything nice.
No, it
that
looks
should
like
be that much
like
money.
a gym or like a garage locker, like nothing fancy. It wasn't something you'd put in your living room. It's something you'd put in the basement of the garage, or
like something you can probably get off Facebook Marketplace for maybe $100.
Oh, I was gonna say like 50.
Yeah, like it's nothing special. So, anyways, they had a bunch of these, and it was like the same locker over and over, but with a different name in the beginning of it, and these names happen to be names of missing girls,
teenagers at that.
Yeah. And then I guess there was pillows too that were missing boys that were going for like tens of $1,000s. And then like, I mean, this was like exploding on social media. So Wayfair was like changing their prices. So now their prices are like normal prices. And then they just made a statement, but basically just denied it. They didn't give any explanation as to why their shit was so expensive. And then I got
so expensive. Oh, those lockers and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, because it's not the locker they're selling. You understand that, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
I
okay.
know. But I'm saying if you're going to make a statement, you need to address why you're...
At least
mention it.
It was a
glitch.
System error. Yeah. Like, I don't say something, but don't just ignore it.
It's just like so fucked up. Like, and then I got in this dark web about like the fucking Russian like... Google, no, like the Russian Google, and if you Google SRC USA and that product number, it comes up images of just all girls. So it's just so weird. Like, it's just weird. And then like I freaked myself out to the point where I was like going home and I was following this white van. I was like, what if there's girls in this van? Like, I just don't like it.
That stuff scares me. Or not scares me, but it just makes me like
uneasy.
Like, I don't want to go to the grocery store by myself ever. Because what if I'm walking to... I am like, was it last year? It got like all those in Jackson about girls like you'd be walking back to your car from the store and like they try and kidnap you.
Yeah.
I'm always pretending I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Or I'm like constantly watching my surroundings, or like I'll kind of like slow down if I see someone else is walking out so I don't walk with them. Or if it's like an old lady, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna walk out with her because witness. I don't know.
See, I'm so
oblivious.
Not. Yeah. Like so like.
Every time I leave
someone's
the store,
following me, I don't fucking know.
I'm walking to my car. I'm constantly looking over my shoulders, always. Or like through cars. Is there a car running near mine? Because that's when I'm going to be thrown in. That is one thing when I leave a store. I always.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified of being abducted, and like nobody would ever fucking know.
No.
Like I'm not like, what if I don't die and I'm just off, switch to people to people? Like it's so terrifying, and people don't think that this shit happens. It has to happen.
Oh no, it does happen.
400,000 kids that go missing every year.
It happens here.
You can't tell me that all. No, I know this is in the world. You can't tell me that all of these kids are dead.
No.
There would be so many dead bodies that people would be finding, and yes, some of them probably.
I just don't understand how people like can even do that. Okay, talk about something else. Don't like that. Depressing. Ugh.
I mean, that's all the updates are.
I don't have any updates. Was anything fun going on?
No,
I got nothing exciting.
Me neither. Let's just open the wine.
Yeah. On that note.
Okay, so today we have a slow press Cabernet Sauvignon, California 2017 craft vintage wines, oak barrel aged. All right, let's read the description. The slower the press, the better the wine. Slow press wines are a tribute to the true craft of winemaking. Our vintners know that great wines are worth waiting for, so they slow down the winemaking process from start to finish. This slow press process releases the purest, most concentrated flavors and smooth finish. Our Cabernet Sauvignon is aged in oak barrels and delivers notes of dark fruit and blackberries that complement robust and velvety tannins.
Sounds delicious.
So it's a twist off. Go ahead and twist that off. Ooh, that's a nice pour. All right, cheers.
Ooh, it's dry. Very dry.
Cabernet Sauvignon usually is.
I feel like it's extra dry.
Really?
Maybe it's because it's slow pressed. Oh, it is good though. I really do like this.
It is good. I love Cabernet Sauvignon.
The bottle's really cool too. We should have taken
it. It is a pretty bottle. Where'd you get it?
Meyer?
Oh.
Yeah, Meyer.
I don't think I've ever had this kind.
I haven't either, but the bottle looked really cool and it was on sale. Mostly because it was on sale.
But yeah, Cabernet Sauvignon, I think is my new fave.
I do have a bottle at home. I like it like at night before, like after I get done with dinner, have a nice glass of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's not something I could drink while
to get
eating.
drunk. Oh.
Well, that too.
Both. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like it's when I'm done with dinner and I'm sitting down for the night, I pour a glass of this.
It's like a treat.
Yeah. Like Pinot, I'll drink all day long.
Yes. It's also like I want to drink this when it's cold out.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a good like pot roast spaghetti dinner night in the winter.
I think I've actually poured some of this in my spaghetti sauce.
Oh, I always put red wine, but usually Shiraz. Shiraz?
No. I do that or Merlot.
I always put red wine in my sauce though, always.
I don't always, but I do sometimes.
I have a bottle of Shiraz that I accidentally bought from Aldi thinking it was Merlot or something. And that's too dry for me.
I don't think I've ever had it.
It's very dry.
Really?
Actually, I haven't had it in a few years. I could probably try it now. But I bought it and I was like, oh, perfect, because that's my spaghetti wine now. Like for the sauce.
Right, yeah.
So that worked out.
All right, so now that we've uncorked the wine, are we ready to uncork the crime?
Yes.
What do you got for us today, Kelly?
Today we're going to talk about Ursula and Sabina Eriksson.
Ursula! And what?
Sabina.
Sabina. Okay. Where is this from?
They were born twin sisters, identical. Were born November 3rd, 1967 in Sweden. Why are all of my stories out of the country?
Because they're crazy over there.
It's like we've been to the Soviet Union, Russia.
Yeah.
We've been to Germany, now Sweden. I think I'm just finding the craziest ones in all the countries.
I feel like the ones in different countries are the craziest though.
I have an Australia one on my list too. Oh, we're just going to go all over the world. Okay, so they grew up in sunny Vamland. I don't know. No weird family history or past, no mental illness, no criminal convictions, no criminal past, nothing. Lived
just a normal life,
yep.
normal childhood.
Yep.
Just them two, no other siblings.
They had one older sister, Mona, and one older brother, Bjorn. I'm assuming that's how you say it. In 2000, Ursula moved to the U.S.
Oh.
And Sabina was living in Mallow, County Cork, Ireland.
Oh, wow.
With a partner. I tried looking up anything about this partner and couldn't find anything. Don't know if it was a man, a woman, married, not married.
Don't know.
But they had 2 kids.
Oh.
Couldn't
together?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Couldn't find anything about the kids or I like literally tried looking up like Sabina Eriksson kids. Like couldn't find anything.
This was Sabina.
Yes.
Ursula moved to
U.S.
the U.S. Okay.
So on Friday, May 16th of 2008, Ursula traveled to Ireland to visit Sabina. So she came from the U.S. to Ireland to visit.
Okay. Were they close?
I mean, it doesn't say anything about them not being close.
Okay.
And she traveled from U.S. to Ireland to visit her. So.
Okay.
So apparently on the same day, they secretly left Sabina's house, which I'm assuming means they didn't tell Sabina's partner or kids that they were leaving, and they just kind of left the house.
Oh, okay.
On Saturday, the next day, May 17th, they arrived in Liverpool around 8:30 a.m. It is said that they most likely traveled by ferry. They went directly to the St. Anne Street police station in Liverpool and said that they were worried about the safety of Sabina's kids. That they just secretly left behind with the partner, and now they're worried about them.
Why did they go all the way to a different town?
Literally. Like, why leave?
They have a police in that town, right? That is so weird.
Yeah. So they traveled overnight because they didn't get to Liverpool till 8:30 in the morning, and they left the day before. So they traveled overnight to tell a random police station. Number one, that police station wouldn't be able to do anything anyways. They're not in their jurisdiction. They would have had to call the police station in the town. The ferry trip from Mallow, County Cork to Liverpool is 7.5 hours.
That's crazy.
So they got on this boat for 7.5 hours to tell a police station that they were worried about the kids that they left. Why didn't you take the kids?
Right. If you were so worried, why'd you leave them there?
Yes.
With the person you're worried about?
Right.
Okay.
So the police station they went to, the St. Anne Street one, called the Dublin police station because, again, not their jurisdiction.
Right.
They can't do anything.
Right.
And they had learned then that Sabina had had a fight with her partner the night before.
Okay. About?
So it doesn't say.
Oh.
So then the police were kind of like, all right, they just got in a fight and she's being dramatic, overreacting, like.
Super dramatic if she's going to take a ferry 7.5 hours away.
Right. To complain. So they left the police station. At 11:30 a.m., the twin sisters boarded a coach bus heading to London.
Okay.
At 1 p.m., the bus had stopped at a Keighley service station, and they quickly got off the bus saying they were not feeling well. The bus driver noticed them acting weird, so he left them there even though, like, I guess it wasn't like a rest stop. It was more like a service, like for the bus to stop to get gas, do its thing. Like it wasn't really a place where like the travelers would get off. Yeah. Maybe to use the bathroom, but not to get off as a stop.
Yeah.
It's like leaving someone at a rest stop.
So we don't know why they were going to London?
No.
Okay.
So the bus driver said that they were clinging to their bags.
Oh,
like overprotective of them. So he asked them to search them before getting back on the bus, thinking there was something illegal in the bags, and he didn't want that on his bus.
Right.
So the twins refused, and the bus driver was like, "You either let me search or I leave," and he left them there. He went on his way. So then the manager of the bus station called the police because she also noticed weird behavior. She was quoted having feelings of suspicion on the pair's demeanor, movements, and their fixation on their bags.
Oh, God, what's in the bags? I don't want to know. It's probably a head.
So it doesn't say anything about the police searching their bags.
Okay.
It just says like I've checked like multiple websites now. Everyone just says they came to speak to the women and they were convinced that they posed no threat of harm and that they seemed harmless, so they let them go. So the police allowed them to leave. So the twins left the station on foot.
Okay. To go where?
We may never know. They were seen walking down the medium median of the M16, which is like a highway. So like the grassy area in between
Oh God.
highways. They're walking down that. And they're like attempting to cross the side of the road in the middle of traffic.
Oh my gosh.
So Sabina was hit by a Seat Leon. Do you want to see the car?
No, this is just a car.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a foreign car, obviously.
Okay.
But so she was hit by a car because she tried to jump across or run across the highway. So highway agencies and police from Central Motorway Police Group arrived. So the police group had actually been filming motorway cops, which I'm assuming is like cops of the
Right.
U.S.
Uh-huh.
And they had the TV crew with them filming.
TV crew.
Yeah, they were the cops show up and they were being recorded like cops, live PD cops. You know how they have.
Yeah.
So the cops that showed up happened to be recording for the show
Oh.
to Sabina getting hit by the car.
Oh my gosh. Is this
Yes.
an episode?
I don't know,
I
but there's
love it.
footage. I'll show you. So they had both of the girls on the side of the highway. And I guess like Sabina wasn't
Severely
hurt.
injured.
Yeah. Like she was standing up and like walking. So I'm
How? If
the
she
car
got
probably
hit?
saw her coming and like just by the time they could stop, like maybe
Nudged her.
yeah,
More
or
than
like
that, but.
she ran into the side of it. I don't know. But she was fine.
Oh, wow.
So they're standing on the side of the highway assessing the situation
Mm-hmm.
when suddenly Ursula breaks free and literally runs into the highway, into the side of an oncoming Mercedes Actors 2546 articulated lorry. Again, car doesn't matter. Which was traveling at a speed about 56 miles per hour.
She just ran right into it.
Yep. And then...
Oh my gosh. Is she okay?
Wait. So while everyone was distracted by what just happened and like trying to go get Ursula,
Right.
Sabina broke free and ran into the road in oncoming traffic. She was hit head on by a Volkswagen Polo. Not sure what the exact speed of that car was, but both of them were high speed.
So
now I'm
so
going
they're
to show you the
just
video.
jumping into oncoming traffic.
I'm going to show you the footage that was caught.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
really sorry that the rest of you can't
Oh no.
see this, but you can Google it.
We'll link the video on our Facebook and that so you guys can watch it too.
Yeah. If you Google either Ursula or Sabina Eriksson or both of them, it's the first video that comes up.
Oh god, I don't even know if I want to see this.
They're not like, they didn't expect it to be happening, so you don't like see everything.
Right,
but
right,
just, okay, push play when you're ready.
God.
Honestly, I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm assuming this is from the TV.
And that's the other one?
Yep. So
Oh
there's
my gosh.
Ursula taking off. And Sabina's like, fuck it.
Why? What the hell were they running for?
Okay, I don't want them to say anything else that, like, talking about them.
Oh my gosh, she was literally just cross-armed, like,
Chilling.
like nothing happened, and then she just starts running with her arms crossed,
Yes.
like nothing's going to happen.
But first, her sister ran out the road, and she's just standing there like,
I
this
know.
is normal.
That's what I'm saying.
And then just like, okay, my turn.
They had
just-
a plan.
So
Oh, I don't like this one.
somehow both of them survived.
What?
Ursula wasn't able to move because her legs were crushed by the car that hit her. And Sabina, the one you saw, was unconscious for 15 minutes because of the hit she took.
Is Sabina the second one that ran with the red coat?
Ursula ran first.
Okay.
Ursula, then Sabina.
Okay.
Ursula couldn't move her legs. Sabina was unconscious. So paramedics arrived, attempted to treat. Well, they were already there because of
Right.
the first hit. Paramedics attempted to treat both of the twins, but Ursula, the first one who ran out, refused medical aid. She was spitting on them, scratching them, and screaming at the officers.
Oh my gosh.
Police attempted to restrain her, and she started yelling, and this is in quotes, so I'm assuming it was like caught on the camera. I recognize you. I know you're not real. To which Sabina, who had finally regained consciousness, screamed, they're going to steal your organs.
What?
So Sabina got up, started screaming for help and for the police, even though the police were there. Like, she's literally yelling like, someone call the cops. The cops were already there.
Oh my gosh.
Hit one of the police officers in the face and ran back into the road again and made it to the other side of the highway. She was chased. They caught up to her, carried her to an ambulance, and handcuffed and sedated her. So they were like, this bitch crazy.
Wow,
sedate
that
her.
is so stressful.
Yes. Ursula was then airlifted to a hospital.
But she was the one who was refusing.
She was the one that she couldn't move her legs. She couldn't get up.
Wasn't she refusing medical?
Yes.
Okay.
So they
just said, fuck you refusing it. We're going to airlift you to a hospital now? Or?
yes.
Okay.
I mean, what's she going to do? She
I know. She's clearly not right.
Yes. Yeah, no. So she went to the hospital.
Oh, gosh. Where are the bags?
What?
Where are the bags? Where are their bags?
Well, one of them in the video, didn't she drop hers?
I don't know.
I'm assuming nothing was in them because
Really?
nothing ever comes up about the bags. So nothing was in them. I
What?
think they were just, you'll see.
Oh, they're crazy.
Yes.
Oh, no.
So Ursula was airlifted to a hospital and Sabina was taken to a hospital via ambulance. When she got to the hospital, she became calmer and under control. Never asked for her sister or an update or where she was. Is she okay? She was treated for her injuries and 5 hours later was released from the hospital. No, like medical evaluation, nothing.
Why?
Well, she was released into police custody, I should say.
Okay.
But they didn't do
They should have.
like a mental health.
Yeah.
Yes. So during processing, she apparently told an officer, "We say in Sweden that an accident rarely comes along. Usually at least one more follows, maybe two."
What the fuck does that mean?
Police didn't question it because they were probably just thinking like,
She's crazy.
This bitch crazy.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
But
But keep that in mind.
They should give a fuck.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
Yes. So this, the next day, Monday, May 19th, 2008, Sabina was released from jail. She pled guilty to the charges of trespassing on the motorway and hitting a police officer. She was sentenced 1 day in jail.
1 day.
Which, because she had already spent the night
Right.
in the police station, that was considered her 1 day. So they let her go.
One
Again,
day?
A full psychiatric evaluation was never done.
Oh my gosh. 1 day.
1 day.
Now if you
For
strike
assaulting a police officer.
Yeah, now I was going to say, now if you strike a police officer, you're
Well,
getting way more than 1 day.
This is also in...
I know.
Yeah, okay.
2008.
But like, no, I mean in a different country.
Oh,
This
well,
is in
yeah.
Ireland.
Well, yeah.
Or they're in...
Sweden. London. They were traveling to London. United Kingdom.
But where did they get off at the...
Liverpool. Oh, I don't know. You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, it doesn't say. But I can find it.
They can't be far. They're in United Kingdom.
But were they there yet? Because they started in Ireland.
No, Liverpool is in United Kingdom.
Oh, yes,
So if
you're
they
right.
got on a
They-
train, they're probably still... And they were heading to
They're
London.
in the UK, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, she was never questioned. They let her go. Weird. So Sabina left the station wearing her sister's green top, which I'm assuming they took off when she got hit and before they took her in the ambulance. Wearing her sister's green top, carrying her own personal belongings in a clear plastic bag that the police had put her stuff in. Said she had wanted to find her sister, but obviously she had no idea what hospital her sister even went to.
They wouldn't
She
tell
never
her?
asked. Well, she didn't.
Oh.
At that point, I don't think
Didn't know.
I don't know if she asked the police and they didn't know or they didn't want to tell her. She didn't know. 7 p.m. same day. Sabina was spotted by two men walking a dog on Christchurch Street in Fenton.
These bitches are in a lot of places.
The two men walking were Glenn Hollinshead. He was a 54-year-old self-employed welder, qualified paramedic, and a former RAF airman. I'm thinking that's like their army kind of thing. And his best friend, Peter Mallow.
They were walking the dog or she was walking the dog?
They were walking the dog
Okay.
and they saw her walking down the street.
Okay.
Couldn't really find anything more on Peter.
Okay.
So Sabina came up to them, was acting very friendly, asked to pet the dog. They struck up conversation. Peter said she was acting nervously and got like really like concerned. Like, this seems weird.
Oh,
Probably thought she was like
gosh.
on drugs.
She's about to run into the road again.
No. That's funny though. They're on a side street, so I don't think it would have done damage like she was hoping for, I guess. I don't know. So Sabina asked for information and directions to any nearby hotels, bed and breakfasts, or like somewhere she could stay, and she explained her situation where she was trying to find her sister in a hospital. So Glenn felt bad for her,
Oh, no.
offered for her to come back to his place on Duke Street, which was a couple blocks away. The three got back to Glenn's house, had a few drinks, got in the house, like relaxed, whatever. Sabina, I guess, according to Peter, kept getting up and looking out the windows and then would like come sit back down, and she'd get up and go look out the windows. Peter assumed she was on the run from an abusive partner and was worried that he was going to come find her.
Oh, gosh.
Apparently, she kept offering the men cigarettes and then would quickly snatch them out of their hands, saying, never mind, they could be poisoned.
Oh, no.
So around midnight, Peter left, and Sabina took up Glenn's offer to stay the night. Peter tried to convince Glenn not to let her stay, but Glenn felt bad. Bless his heart, he's a nice man. Let her stay the night. The next day, so now we're on Tuesday, May 20th, 2008. First thing in the morning, Glenn called his brother asking about local hospitals to try and find Ursula.
Mm-hmm. What a nice man.
Yeah, so he's really trying to help. The next thing that I know happened for sure was at 7:40 p.m. So I'm really not sure during the day. Did they try and go find her? Did they?
What were they doing?
Yeah, I don't know. So while making dinner, Glenn walked over to a neighbor's to borrow some tea bags. He's out of tea. Tragedy. When he went back to the house, 1 minute later, he came back outside, staggering and bleeding, yelled to his neighbor, "She stabbed me," collapsed to the ground and died.
Oh, no. Poor Glenn. I mean, he was such a great man just helping this stranded woman. It was crazy. I'm so sad.
I know. I'm picturing like a sweet old man just walking his dog, living his good retired life.
We called hospitals for her. Why did you kill her?
Yes. Tried to help you. She had stabbed him with a kitchen knife 5 times.
Oh, my gosh.
Neighbors called the police. And again, typical Sabina fashion, she ran.
Shocker.
And was caught on CCTV close by. I couldn't find anything on that. I'm assuming it's like when you know, like ATM footage or like something.
Or like a street light.
Yeah, like something, just her running by.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently she was running with a hammer in her hand and was continuously hitting herself on the head over and over.
What?
It couldn't have been that hard, but like someone driving by saw her running down the street and tried to stop her.
Could you imagine seeing that?
This guy got out of his car and tried to stop her.
Hell no. I'd drive so far away.
I would call the police and be like, "Hey, this is what's going on, but I am not sticking around." So Sabina screamed as he got out to try and stop her. Sabina screamed, out of her back pocket, took out a roof tile and hit the guy in the back of the head with it. It caused enough shock to him that he staggered, and Sabina was able to get out of his hold. Paramedics and police finally caught up with her, because again, she's running, caught up with her on a bridge at Heron Cross. Sabina jumped from the bridge, which was about 40 feet up, broke both of her ankles, and was then detained and taken to a hospital.
Oh, broke her ankles? Ah.
Youch.
That hurts my feet just thinking about it. Okay, she's crazy.
Yes.
If they don't do a mental screening, I swear to God.
June 6, 2008. While recovering in the hospital, Sabina was arrested and taken into custody in a wheelchair on murder charges. For Glenn, rest in peace. Trial was scheduled for February 2009, but it had to be rescheduled for September 2009 because the court ran into issues trying to get her medical records from Sweden. This is probably just because it's a different country, like.
But she had no medical records because.
Well, I think just
her records.
I mean, doctor visits, like anything.
I was thinking like a mental record.
Oh, no, they were just trying to get any medical record from her.
Okay, makes sense.
So now we're in September of 2009.
Where's Ursula?
That was going to literally. I'm scrolling up to find it. So Ursula was then released from the hospital in September. I don't have an exact date.
Jesus.
Well, she broke both of her legs.
Wow, she was in there a long time. She was in there over a year.
We're in the same year.
Oh, you said 2009.
Ursula was released in September 2008.
Okay. And that's when. Okay.
Yes. She was. And this was when Sabina was sitting in jail waiting for trial.
Okay.
She was released from the hospital. No charges, nothing, because I guess she technically, other than being on the motorway.
She didn't hit the police officer or anything.
I think she was just yelling at them. Like, she didn't want anyone to touch her.
But
regardless,
yeah,
she went back to Sweden, eventually moved back to the U.S. Never charged with a crime. And as of September 2008, that's the last update I can find on Ursula, she is a member of the Sacred Heart Church in Bellevue, Washington. And she's just living her normal life.
She's never explained that day to anyone. Like, there's nothing.
That's the last thing I can find on her was that she was released. It was assumed she went back to Sweden and then went back to the U.S. again.
She had to have changed her name. If you can't find anything, she had to
have
gone.
But as of 2018, she's part of the Sacred Church. So
2018.
Yeah. No, yes. Like 2 years ago. I think she
A
just
sacred
kind of
church where?
Bellevue, Washington, United States.
Oh,
Yep.
I need to track her down because I need her to explain that day to me.
Well, I don't think we're ever gonna. I mean, you can try and track her down. As far as I know, she's still alive. So jump forward September 2nd, 2009.
Okay.
Sabina pleads guilty to manslaughter with diminished responsibility, which I'm assuming is kind of like
Insanity.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
When questioned and interrogated, Sabina never tried to explain her actions, and she just kept saying no comment.
Of course she did.
Defense and prosecution both claimed she was insane at the time of killing, but had regained her saneness by the time the trial started. So this is what the defense claimed was going on with Psycho Sisters here. They claimed Sabina had been a secondary sufferer of folie à deux.
Oh, what's that?
I'm going to look it up, make sure I'm saying that right. But it looks right.
Sounds right.
Folie à deux.
Folie à deux.
What do you do?
Okay. So
They claim she had that.
she was a secondary sufferer of this.
What does that mean and what is that?
I'm going to explain.
Okay.
So, folie à deux is a shared psychological disorder where two people, most of the time they're related, experience a shared delusion.
Oh my gosh.
It's a very extremely rare condition, but it has happened. So, Sabina was influenced by the primary sufferer, which would have been Ursula, because Ursula ran first into the streets. So they're thinking Ursula had this delusion, this mental
Folie à deux.
yes. And because of the relation, I don't know. So Sabina, her mind tapped into it with her. And when Ursula went to the hospital, she got out of it. But Sabina, didn't fully get out of it. That's why Ursula
She
left
couldn't
the
find
hospital.
Ursula.
But you'd think with the separation, they would have both snapped out of it.
Well, maybe she didn't know if she was out of
Oh,
it,
yeah.
so she's like, I gotta stay in it. I mean, she's probably not thinking like that, but you know what I mean?
Yes. There were also two other theories for her actions. She suffered from a rare psychiatric disorder that caused her to hear voices, but not voices that she could interpret or understand. So it just drove her mad.
Oh,
At that point, she's running out in front of the cars to stop it. I don't know.
Right, that would make sense.
Another theory was that she suffered from acute polymorphic delusional disorder. This is a psychotic disorder which causes hallucinations, delusions, or perceptual disturbances that are obvious but not inconsistent. So it could change by day, it could change by hour. So there's no kind of like schizophrenia, in an instant, or you could go a couple days without having a episode. I don't know how to, you know what I mean?
But I wonder when this all came about. Because you said they have a normal childhood. There's no
Right.
trauma that they would have went through that it's usually
That we
what
know of.
causes it. And I have more questions, but I'll save them till the end.
There's only a couple more bullet points. So her insanity plea was accepted, and Sabina was sentenced to 5 years in
That's
Bronzefield Women's Prison.
For murder, she gets 5 years.
And after already serving 439 days in jail while awaiting trial, those days were considered part of the 5 years. So she technically already served over a year and a half.
That's bullshit.
Yep. One of the detectives in the crime? One of the detectives on the case, thank you, was quoted saying, "The reasons for the two events may never be truly known or understood, but the taking of Glenn's life was a violent and senseless act." So I guess some of the family Glenn's family tried to go back and they wanted not a retrial, but
Yeah, they want answers.
or compensation or something, and
Yeah.
nothing.
That's bullshit because she got insanity.
Yep.
I mean, clearly she was insane. I'm not doubting that, but it's just not fair. There needs to be some type of compensation. There needs to be some type of punishment more than 5 years just because you're insane. Just because
Yes.
you're insane, it doesn't mean that
What
you
you did
should
was
get less
okay.
time because you because if somebody who's not insane murders someone, they're getting probably
20
life.
years. Well, just wait. In 2011, I had one in here, but that cannot be right. 2011 makes sense because that would have been 3 years later.
Right.
2011, Sabina was released on parole. There was speculation that she went to Europe, but her whereabouts are currently unknown.
Oh, hell yeah. Because someone's going to go and kill her ass.
She gone. Ursula's just living her best life in her sacred church in Washington.
She
and
changed her name.
Sabina MIA.
So, okay. Did she ever talk to Ursula again? Was Ursula ever at her trial?
I don't think so, because at that point Ursula would have been back in the U.S. And she was probably still recovering. Well, I guess a year later.
I mean, even when she got released.
all the latest thing I can find on Sabina was that she was released in 2011 and she left. I looked last night. That was one of the things I did too.
That's crazy to me, because if you were going through a murder trial, you didn't do anything to me personally for me to cut you off and for me to hate you. Yeah, you murdered someone, but like, you didn't do anything personally to me. I would want to keep tabs on you, figure out what you got for murdering, when you'd be released. You know what I mean? And I just feel like she just didn't.
Not that I can find. But then again, maybe something did happen between the time they were a child and they were adults, and maybe Ursula was like, fuck you. Like, maybe Sabina was really the crazy one. Maybe Sabina was the primary sufferer of this disease.
I think she was.
And Ursula was actually the secondary.
That makes more sense
Sabina
to me.
got into her mind, like, your kids aren't safe, this and that.
Yeah, that makes way more sense to me. That Sabina is the main one, because she's the one who murdered someone. She was able to get out of it when she was in the hospital. Yeah. Now, Ursula was able to get out of it. Sabina wasn't. She was trying to find her sister and then murdered someone.
Ursula was also in the hospital for a couple months. So maybe they also were helping her with her mind. Sabina was let go after like 5 days and then a day in jail.
Isn't that crazy to think that if she would have just stayed in the hospital longer, probably this wouldn't have happened?
Oh, Glenn would have still been alive for sure. Yeah.
And like, what about her kids and her partner? So her kids just know that their mom is out there?
Maybe she went back, but it says whereabouts are unknown. Maybe they got all the kids and left, or got their kids and family and left.
I hope she didn't get her kids back. She don't know.
She got 5 years in prison for killing someone. I guarantee she got her fucking kids back.
She's not right.
Also, they put her in prison and not an insane asylum or a psych ward.
That's weird, because if she
pleaded insanity.
Yeah.
But then again,
and
I don't know how that works over there.
What about her other sister and her brother and her parents?
Oh, they're probably like, F this. They're psycho. I don't know what to do.
There's so many questions, like unanswered questions.
Why? When she said they're going to take your organs. The fuck?
What?
Call the police when it was the police trying to help her.
I mean,
running into traffic.
That I believe she was insane, because she didn't realize it was, and she was saying she heard voices. I think maybe she did understand some voices to know. Maybe they were telling her those weren't police, and that maybe they were telling her that, they're going to take your organs. Yeah, that's crazy. I've never heard that story. I have so many fucking questions. Why you couldn't find a picture of Ursula? I'm telling you that all.
Well, she probably did change.
And her kids and her partner, why you can't find information on them, and all the other siblings and parents, like, yeah, but it just makes me wonder if there's more shit that is not in light about their family.
Well, then it's kind of like Bryce Laspisa, the last story we did. Everyone thought he had a great childhood growing up, and then all this happened, and then it came out his parents were controlling. Mm-hmm. They watched his text messages. They didn't let him choose a college. Like,
yeah. There has to be something more. There has to be a reason that these two girls went crazy.
Or there's just not. I mean, it happens that people just...
Does it?
Something in your brain just doesn't align. What if I started going crazy?
That was crazy.
I think it happens. I think it can happen. Maybe something happened to one of them that... I mean, maybe that's why Sabina went to go visit... Or Ursula went to go visit Sabina. Maybe, like...
Yeah, why did she say...
Maybe something happened in the U.S. and she, like...
Yeah. I don't think Ursula was the main holder. It was definitely fucking Sabina. And why did they even say, like, they fear for their kids and partner? Did they fear for their kids and partner because they were going to kill them?
Why did they secretly leave? None of it makes sense.
The partner didn't know that they were leaving?
It says they secretly left her house. So, like, who else would you have been secretive to? It was clearly in the middle of the night. If a 7.5 hour trip, they ended up at 8:30. That means they had to have left at 1 a.m. So they snuck out of the house in the middle of the night, took a ferry.
Right.
Are ferries running that late?
Or
They snuck out in the morning, took a ferry, and like slept somewhere. I don't know.
That is so crazy.
Just like running out into the middle, like into cars. Just like so chill. Like she's just standing there like, there goes my sister. Okay, here I go.
My turn.
Onto the highway.
I know. That was, that's unsettling.
And then killed Glenn. Why?
I know. Poor guy was just wanting to help.
That's
And he
insane.
couldn't even find her in the hospital? He was calling all these hospitals and couldn't find her?
I don't know. Like when they started calling. I don't know what police station she was in, what hospital Ursula was taken to. Like, if that happened here in Jackson, Ursula probably would have been airlifted to like U of M.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have started calling local hospitals instead of.
Yeah.
So maybe by the time they just didn't find her that day.
I don't know.
Ursula was like, don't tell her where I am. She's crazy. That could be an option.
I don't feel like she should have been released.
Sabina?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not.
And if Ursula was this main holder, she shouldn't have been released without getting a psych evaluation too.
Well, she might have had one. She was in the hospital for 3 months. So she might have had one and they would have, at that point,
But
she was
clearly
fine.
she was fine enough to not go into a psych ward. She went home.
But, that's what
but
I'm saying.
she's
By
the main girl.
Snapped out of it. So by the time they did the psych evaluation, she was okay. Or maybe they did do work with her. Maybe they did not, you know what I mean? They worked with her when she was in the hospital and was like, okay, it was just this one episode. What can you do? You can't hold them because of one episode and they're fine now and they've never had an issue before. You can't put them in a psych ward for that.
That is so crazy. I don't.
Unless Ursula was like, Sabina made me do it. And Sabina's off killing someone now, so it seems legit.
Right.
Like maybe she threatened Ursula.
I don't know.
Fucking weird.
That is really weird.
That's the story.
That was a good story. I've never heard of it, so now I just have so many questions.
You know.
But
Let's
yeah.
track down Ursula.
Oh my
It's like I'm fucking scared of them.
Let's track down either one of them and let's go ask them.
Not Sabina. She's a murderer.
I want to track down like their kids and partner.
I want to track down Ursula. I feel like she's the most sad out of the two.
Yeah, but she's the holder.
As long as Sabina's not there, I'm good. Watch they're living somewhere together, like, oh God, in the U.S. Yep.
They definitely changed their names, for sure.
Ursula didn't. Because you look up Ursula Eriksson and it says she's in Washington and she's part of this sacred. I think she just kind of keeps to herself, which I would too. The only thing people know about you is your psycho sister, and when you were psycho for a little bit.
For a little bit.
Your murder psycho sister.
Ugh, I don't know. I don't like that one. I do, but I don't at the same time.
Yeah, it's the mental part of it. Like, it's weird how like the Ed Gein story was like gory and like unsettling, but like when it comes to the mind, it's even more unsettling because like like crazy thing like. Obviously what Ed Gein was crazy too, but it's just like that unknown of like what made you this way.
Yeah, you just want answers.
Yes. But also you terrify me.
Yeah. Well, good job,
So
Kelly.
it.
That was a
Thanks.
great story.
Episode 13.
We're getting there.
Yeah. We're getting cruising right along.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Not me. Not me. You know that just
Yeah, that's why I said it. Don't forget that if you want to read the book we're reading, you still have time for that. We'll let you know. We'll let you know when
We'll give you a heads up before the review comes out.
Right.
We'll let you know when we're getting close to finishing the book, which gives you like at least another week or two before we do our recording on the book.
Yep. And
So we'll keep you
then
posted.
we do have some listener stories that we want to do an episode on, so we'll probably do that soon.
So we're going to do another Uncorked Crime goodie bag giveaway.
Woohoo!
So if you can send in your stories, if you have sent in stories or if you have stories you want to submit, we will do a drawing from those. So make sure to send in your stories. You have until July 31st is when we'll do the cutoff. And then we'll do the drawing. We'll let you know.
We'll
shout
read
out
the
the winner.
stories.
Yep. We'll read all the stories, but we'll do another giveaway just to get some incentive to send us some stories in.
Yeah, so get your stories into us, text us, DM us, message us,
Yep.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
Website.
website.
Anything. Ghost stories. I mean, it could be anything too. Paranormal stories.
Yes.
Ghost stories.
Creepy encounters, like
Yes.
you know somebody who ended up killing someone.
Yeah.
We don't care. We just want to know it. And even if it's short, we don't care. We're gonna make it a long episode for you guys. If it's
We'll make it
short,
work.
we don't care. We're gonna figure it out. We just want to hear you guys' stories. I know that when I listen to podcasts, listener stories are my favorite
Yes.
episodes. So get them in. Let us know. We're going to do a drawing. You'll get some uncorked goodies, and you'll maybe get our favorite wine.
We've had many. We'll have to choose our favorite.
We got to figure it out. So let us know. Send them in.
We'll do a drawing. We'll let you know. Send in your stories.
And read the book if you want to read the book with us. Okay.
What's the book again?
It is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. One of Us is Lying. So
if you want to read it, pick it up. Give it a read. The review will be up a couple weeks or so. We'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll let you know. We'll give you a heads up.
Yeah.
So yeah, good episode, Kelly.
Thank you.
Get some listener stories in, read the book, and that's all. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.